habits that make people wealthy are usually invisible to the person who has them. Not because they are hiding anything, because wealth at the building stage looks almost identical to ordinary life. The person building it does not look like someone building it. Right now, the average American car payment is $767 a month. That is $9,204 a year. All of that leaving the account before a single dollar is invested. If you do not have that payment, most people watching this do not. That is already the first signal. 9 signs, benchmarked against real averages, that you are already building wealth without knowing it yet. Most people assume wealth has a visible form. A car, a postcode, a number dropped in a conversation. The person posting about the renovation is not maxing out their Roth IRA. The person with the Rolex is not necessarily the person with the portfolio. Wealth at the building stage is statistically invisible. It lives in behavior, not balance sheets. Each sign that follows is benchmarked against a real American average, so you can measure, not just feel. Most of these signals are already active in your life. You just have not named them yet. Sign 1. You think in decades, not months. If you optimize for long-term gains, the evidence is consistent. Wealth follows. Every dollar you delay spending is not restraint. It is a second job that works while you sleep. The compounding does not feel like anything while it is happening. That is the point. The benchmark, long-term thinkers delay an unplanned purchase by at least 30 days before deciding. 30% of impulse decisions are abandoned after a month. The item is still available. The urgency has gone. The catch, thinking long-term is easier when you have a long runway. Someone 5 years from retirement faces a genuinely different calculus. That is not a failure of discipline, it is a different horizon. Sign 2. Your lifestyle did not move when your income did. Most people allow spending to rise automatically the moment income rises. The raise arrives, the lifestyle upgrades, the gap stays the same. The national average savings rate in America sits at 4.6%. A savings rate above 15% puts you in the top tier of American households. 66% of households above 100,000 live within their means. For households under 50,000, fewer than 40% manage the same. The behavior is possible at most income levels. It is just harder at some. The gap between what you earn and what you spend, that is where wealth accumulates. Most people never open it. The catch, living below your means is genuinely easier at higher incomes. That is structural, not moral. Sign 3. No car payment? 40% of Americans carry an active auto loan right now. $767 a month is $9,000 a year not being invested. Invested at 8% annual return, that becomes $140,000 in 10 years. That is not a calculation about frugality. That is a calculation about what one decision compounds into. If you understand depreciation and buy used at 30,000 miles, you are still in the signal. The catch, no car payment while carrying 24% APR credit card debt is not a wealth signal. It is a priority error. Eliminate the highest rate debt first, then redirect to investment. Sign 4. You are consistently spending less than you make, and that gap is growing. The person building real wealth at $15,000 a month looks slightly underdressed for their income. No visible signals, no status objects, just a gap that compounds quietly. 3 months of spending records tells you more than any salary figure. A salary tells you what comes in. 3 months of outgoings tells you what you actually are. Tracking that gap monthly is the most predictive financial behavior in long-term wealth studies. The catch, the gap must be invested. Sitting in a low-yield savings account is not the same as building wealth. It is wealth that is not yet working. Sign 5. You have started trading money for time rather than time for things. Wealthy individuals consistently say their most guarded resource is their calendar. Not their bank account, their calendar. Spending $150 to reclaim 4 hours every 2 weeks is not a luxury. It is a leveraged decision. The catch: the reclaimed time must produce something: rest, income, or creative capacity. Outsourcing friction to scroll social media is not buying back time to think. It is just relocating the friction. Sign 6. You stopped measuring your progress against someone else's highlight reel. The new car might be leased, the renovation might be debt financed. You do not know. And more importantly, it does not matter. Stop optimizing for the signal. Start optimizing for the thing it is supposed to represent. The catch: comparisons are hardest to stop when your social environment rewards visible spending. When every dinner table or group chat is tracking appearances, opting out takes a deliberate choice. You are not fighting those environments. You are building a different scoreboard, one that only you can see. Sign 7. You do not feel the need to announce the raise, the bonus, or the purchase. The people who talk most about what they earn rarely have the most saved. The announcement and the accumulation tend to move in opposite directions. The number that matters is your net worth. And that figure lives in a spreadsheet, not a group chat. The catch: silence about money is only a wealth signal if it comes from security, not shame. Both look the same from the outside, only you know which one it is. Sign 8. The things that once felt like sacrifices have become defaults. Packing your own lunch used to feel like a compromise. Now it just happens. The identity shifted from someone trying to save money to someone who simply does not spend it. That shift is the signal. The behavior stopped requiring effort. When values align with habits, discipline disappears. It becomes preference. The catch: habits that feel automatic can also automate the wrong behaviors. Check the direction, not just the ease. Sign 9. You do not panic when the market drops. You zoom out. Every major pullback, Black Monday, the dot-com crash, 2008, the pandemic, has been absorbed by the long-term trajectory. The quietly wealthy investor sees a drop as a discount, not a disaster. Investors who stayed in through 2008 recovered fully. Those who sold at the bottom did not. The catch: not panicking is rational only if your time horizon is long. If you need the money in 5 years, the maths is genuinely different. That is not a failure of nerve, it is a different problem. Here is what these 9 signs share. None of them require a high income. None of them require a specific job, a specific city, or a specific starting point. They require a specific relationship with time, with comparison, and with the gap between what you earn and what you spend. If 3 or more of these signs apply to you, your wealth has not caught up to your actions yet. It will. That is not a failure of results, it is a feature of compounding. Compounding is slow, invisible, and statistically certain, which is exactly why most people miss it in themselves. They are looking for the wrong signals. Which of these 9 signs applies to you right now? And which one do you need to build next? Drop both answers below. One shift changes everything.